create champions within your accounts. And champions are not coaches, by the way. Coaches are actually telling the same thing to you, to your competition, and to everybody else. A champion is a person who you build trust and who you actually confide in what we can provide and what we cannot, and what will actually work and what will not work. So the champion will actually do the selling on your behalf when you are not around. That's the most important part of, I would say, building relationships in the new world is concerned. You have to have a champion within the account, and I would say the earlier you have that champion engaged with all the activities, it's better for you, and then you can have a smooth ride in that account. Because we know today that, and as Jagdish and Nimish has rightly pointed out, the customer knows more about technology than all of us together as a seller. Don't assume that you know more than the customer. That's given. We don't know. So as a seller, what I can do is provide that information to the champion who will sell on my behalf. Because we have seen that the number of decision makers, and there was a question on decision maker, I think Akhil had asked earlier, how do we move through the hierarchy? I think the number of decision makers in selecting a solution has gone up from 5.4 to 12.5 now. So there are 12.5 people who are involved in the decision-making process for any large transformation deal, whether it's digital or security or whatever you call it. So you cannot manage this entire interaction of all the decision makers together. You need a champion who will actually bat for you when you're not around and will sell you. Because 3 questions everyone asks within the organization. For example, the question will be why this project is important, and if we delay it, what happens? Because the CFO has limited budget. What other projects are actually competing for that budget? That's the third one. And fourth is why, for example, Dell or WNS or Tech Mahindra in case of Jagdish's organization. So when these questions come up in their internal meetings, you need to have a champion who will bat for you during those sessions. And that is the most critical part to bridge the gap. And as I would call it, bridging the gap is important because most organizations take, I would say, different amount of time for different departments and business units to get the full story of digital transformation. So you need a champion.